everybody, my name is Katie Freeman of Freeman Furnishings. Welcome to my channel. I've really started to focus more on the climate crisis and what that's going to mean, how the climate crisis is not only going to impact the business of Freeman Furnishings and making furniture from wood, but how I, through that process, make an impact on climate crisis. I still want to create new and unique pieces. So I want something that maybe isn't already furniture that I can turn in, or home decor that I could turn into those things. And so as I was thinking, you know what is wood that I have not really ever seen anybody reuse before, and that's yardsticks. That's what this video is about, is turning a bunch of yardsticks, this is just a sample of them, into a piece of home decor. So come along with me on this journey and let's get to making. Americans dump 12 million tons of furniture and furnishings waste, also known as F-waste, into landfills each year, alongside 500 million tons of construction and demolition debris. Besides all of that waste adding to the never-ending issue of landfill management, as those items break down, they release carbon monoxide into the atmosphere. See, as trees grow and go about their business of pulling carbon monoxide from the atmosphere and processing it to release back out oxygen, that carbon monoxide becomes a part of their cellular structure. And as long as that wood is not in decay, that carbon monoxide will remain contained within it. Therefore, it really is within our best interest to find ways to keep wood products, especially, out of landfills. I think all of us are pretty familiar with one of the ways to keep F-waste out of the landfill, which is refinishing. That could be simply just finishing it with paint, or maybe you reupholster an old chair. Either way, you are keeping the core bones of the piece and just changing the window dressing. Then there's upcycling, which is taking something intended for one purpose and using it for a different purpose. There may or may not be any actual changes to the piece needed. The third way is by looking at the furniture or furnishings as a source of material. That is where it's no longer a chair, but a grouping of materials that can be broken down and rearranged. Here's where I want to channel the master of reuse, Ben of Wobie Designs. Ben uses old and busted skateboards to make all sorts of amazing things. He puts hours of work into breaking the boards down to get to just the wood. Then he cuts all that up and glues them into blanks of various sizes depending on what he's going to be making. I mean, recently he made an entire bike out of recycled skateboards. I have, just like many of you, been watching Ben do this for years now. And if you're not aware of him, just check the description box below, where I've tagged his channel. While I have watched, I continued to think on the idea of using material from something that is common and frequently trashed or broken. The two largest sources of F-waste are office furniture and fast furniture. Office furniture includes desks, desk chairs, cubicles, dividers, and conference room tables. Fast furniture is furniture that you can buy from places like IKEA. Office furniture can be difficult to break into materials as they are generally made of lots of different materials and hard to break apart. Luckily, there are organizations working to keep this type of F-waste out of the landfill through donation and recycling programs. Fast furniture is primarily made of chipboard or particle board. Neither material is made for longevity, and it can contain toxic glues and chemicals. This also makes it difficult for this type of furniture to be recycled or broken down. There are quite a few furniture companies out there working to either start from the beginning with what is called a circular economy, or working to get one started. For example, IKEA is starting a buyback and recycle part of their business. This means when you are done with a piece of furniture, you can sell it back to IKEA. Okay, so hold up, wait a minute, what is a circular economy? Simply put, it is an alternative to the traditional linear economy, where we take resources, make products, and then dispose of them, which isn't good for the planet or our pockets. A circular economy, on the other hand, seeks to keep resources in use for as long as possible. extracting the maximum value while they are in use and recovering and regenerating materials once they can no longer be used. This right here is what I'm talking about. Trying to work even a small scale level to create a circular economy for my business. For me in general, this means working with solid wood products when I'm controlling the design, or sourcing other materials from sustainable sources that can have other uses past the object I create. For this project, I am stretching to see where and how I could turn a traditional linear economy into a circular one. Probably the largest circular economy most makers and woodworkers are familiar with are pallets. Pallets are made from good wood, used to transport all sorts of goods, and once it's no longer useful in that capacity, bam, wood source for wood projects. I did think about doing a pallet wood project for a hot second. However, I feel like that is a bit tired. Or perhaps it just doesn't fill me with a lot of excitement, and who wants to do a project that's not exciting? Since my brain is very much still stuck in this idea, though, of only being able to make from solid wood, I spent time thinking on other things that are something considered to have little value and something that can be easily tossed. This is where the idea of yardsticks came to mind. The more I thought about using yardsticks as a base for a carving project, the more excited I got. I love the idea of having layers that would bring a unique aesthetic to the finished piece. I also love the potential to keep intact the original story by having elements of the yardstick show, as well as it being something no longer related to a yardstick. Once decided, I ran with it and went on a massive hunt through every thrift and antique store in my area to gather enough yardsticks to make a small platter. Since I wanted to keep as much of the character of the yardstick as I could, while also being able to make it rigid enough to carve on, I decided epoxy resin would be the best bet for a glue. This project came together well and was very straightforward. Pretty much it was just, number 1, cut yardsticks to 9-inch lengths. Number 2, mix TOTALBOAT epoxy and glue up yardsticks. Number 3, use router to clean up, top and bottom of glue up. Number 4, carve yardstick blank into platter. Pretty easy. Fairy tale ending, except something I knew there was potential for, but had hoped would not happen, and that is the platter broke along a seam between 2 yardsticks. If I did not care about being able to fully tell the story of this piece being made from yardsticks, I would have, at a minimum, sanded both sides of the yardsticks to give it a better surface for the epoxy to grab hold of. I did not do this step, and therefore have a 2-part platter instead of a full platter. Don't you just hate when you decide to not listen to that voice of wisdom and knowledge in your head? Yep, me too. Still, in the end, it was a very worthy experiment. One I expect to keep pushing myself to try. How about you? Are you working with a circular economy? If not yet, do you plan to start? Let me know down in the comments. Thank you so much for sticking through the story. Go ahead and hit that follow and notification button, and see you on the next project. Katie out.